If you watched the previous video or are following the current situation with emulators aiming to replace Yuzu and Citra, you're aware of all the drama unfolding. And I'm here to bring you another chapter of this evolving story. To update you on the latest post, where I mentioned that the Suyu and Sudachi servers were banned from Discord, along with the accounts of those responsible, Discord's Director of Communications, Kelly Sloan, confirmed to The Verge that both servers and accounts were removed by court order. He clarifies that Discord complies with legal agreements like the DMCA. In the case of Suyu and Sudachi, a lawsuit requested the removal of the communities responsible for hosting these materials. After the Discord ban, Suyu's developers made a post on Reddit discussing the issues with their founder, known in the community as Bus. However, shortly after the developers announced their departure, a new version was instantly released, suggesting it was already prepared and possibly to keep the emulators' morale high, minimizing concerns raised by developer KK. Bus then stated that the project wasn't dead but would have slower updates due to the lack of developers and was recruiting those interested in collaborating with the project. This led many people to comment that I was mistaken and that the project wasn't over since it had just received an update. However, more problems arose for the community. Bus posted again on Saturday morning, this time in Suyu's new chat, with a striking statement. He began by explaining that, after much reflection, he decided to freeze the project. This pause in development was motivated by two main reasons. Firstly, the remaining team members no longer have the capability to maintain the code, especially after the departure of most other developers. Bus expressed full understanding regarding this situation. The second reason is the evident legal risk of continuing with a project of this nature at this time. He confirmed, according to The Verge's post, that the removal of the Discord community was not solely the result of a simple DMCA notification but rather a court order. This warrant makes the situation much more serious, and Bus is not willing to risk facing legal proceedings from Nintendo. Now you must be wondering about the future of the project. Bus responded by stating that the frequency of updates will decrease drastically, but support will still be available. In his conclusion, Bus acknowledges that many may hate him for this decision, while others may be celebrating the end of the project. However, he maintains his belief in the future of the emulation community. As I mentioned in my video summarizing all this drama, after the Yuzu team chose not to directly confront Nintendo, the entire community suffered the consequences. Solid projects like Drastic, the best Nintendo DS emulator for Android, practically abandoned their monetization schemes and planned to remove the project from app stores. This has affected not only the Suyu team but the entire emulation community. Before moving on to the next piece of news, I'd like to convey a message for those who are angry at Bus, upset about the end of AetherSX2, or for anyone who is a critic of this emulation community. It's important to remember that many developers dedicate part of their time and knowledge to create these projects for the community, often without receiving any form of financial compensation, solely with the goal of preserving games. While there are projects with toxic communities, like Cemu, it's essential to respect the hard work of those who contribute to bringing enjoyment to fans and their favorite franchises. If you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all the emulation world news. I also want to thank the channel members for their ongoing support. Finally, after the issues with Lemonade, it's also gone. The fork that combines Citra with Citra MMJ has come to an end after much controversy in the community, and accusations that the project was copying tens of thousands of lines of code without giving proper credit. To provide context, Citra and all its derivative forks must be under the GPL license, which means that when using someone else's code, it's mandatory to give proper credits. After these accusations, there was a vote on Discord for the community to decide whether they wanted to see the continuation of the Lemonade project, or if it should be abandoned. At the time I was following, the vote ratio was 4 in favor of continuation to 1 in favor of abandoning the project. Gamer64, the individual responsible for leading the project, made a statement on his Discord. Firstly, he apologizes for abandoning the project for now. He states that the toxicity of the community led most of the Lemonade developers to abandon the project, and currently, he can't handle all the work alone, feeling useless. He mentions that he may revive the project if new developers join him again, but believes that nobody will be interested. Finally, he expresses that he doesn't want to halt the project's development, but all the drama is affecting his motivation. After this statement, the community went into a frenzy. If you enter there now, you'll see many people attacking the responsible person, which made him switch to Telegram, as he believes it's only a matter of time until the Discord server is also taken down for violating some guideline, given the total lack of control, with many insults, racist messages, and all sorts of attacks against the developer's name. Just as I mentioned about Suyu, it's important not to offend those who work to bring enjoyment. As for what remains, we now have Lime, but there are already reports that Lime 3DS may follow the same path, as the project doesn't have many developers, let alone developers who understand Citra. For now, the best option may be to support Pablo's fork, as he and his team were directly involved in Citra's development before its downfall. Regarding Nintendo Switch emulation, we have Sudachi and Ryujinx, but as I've mentioned in several videos, if they don't remove the dependency on Nintendo's proprietary key files, like prod.keys, they still risk facing legal action from Nintendo. I hope this video has been at least informative for you, as starting on Monday with 2 terrible pieces of news like these certainly isn't pleasant for anyone. Thank you for your viewership, and until the next video.